What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Back at it. I know it, man. I know. Y'all ain't seen me in a minute. But the reason why is because those first two reaction videos that I made, I had to pay for them. Now I figured out a way to do it for free, uncut, minimal to no editing at all. And I think this is what is finally gonna work for the reaction channel. Without further ado, if you click this video, you already know what we getting into. 25 conspiracy theories that turned out to be true. Welcome into Mike O'Clock TV, back at it here with another one. I'm your host, Mikey Reacts, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get right on to it. I appreciate you guys. If you stay till the end of this, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for all future updates. I appreciate you. All right, let's get started.
We've all heard our fair share of conspiracy theories. Some are innocent, like the one claiming Elvis is still alive, while others are sinister, like the one claiming 9/11 was orchestrated by the U.S. government. It's easy to dismiss such theories as nothing more than ramblings of crazy people. But don't be so hasty. Just because something is a conspiracy doesn't necessarily mean it's untrue. I'm Mike with List 25, and the following 25 conspiracy theories were all too crazy to be true, until they weren't. But before we get started, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell. It's not a conspiracy theory. It actually does help the channel, so I'd appreciate that. With all that being said, let's go get conspiracy. Let's conspire, you know? Oh, these sound so much better in my head. I'll just start the intro. The government wants
Found
to
it.
beam secret messages into your brain. It's the granddaddy of all conspiracy theories. The government is beaming secret messages into your brain to control your thinking.
Hey,
It's the kind of strange allegation that would get you labeled as neurotic.
that is crazy. It could be true though. Predictive programming, it could be true.
He was declared mentally ill by his psychiatrist as well as the government. But here's the thing. He was kind of right. In a 2006 declassified Pentagon report called Bioeffects of Selected Non-Lethal Weapons, the phenomenon of microwave hearing was laid out, including how the technology in its most basic form can be used to communicate with individuals through Morse code. It might be a good idea to keep that tinfoil hat on. It might not be so absurd after
Put that
all.
tinfoil hat on, ladies and gentlemen.
Government controls the news.
The government controls the news, number 24.
The CIA initiative known as Operation Mockingbird eavesdropped on members of the Washington Press Corps. They paid journalists to disseminate CIA propaganda as part of this program, wiretapped their phones, and monitored their workplaces and tabs on their daily operations and visitors' behavior. The CIA also went so far as to pay students in cultural organizations and magazines to act as front groups. Senate hearings in the mid-1970s finally exposed the covert initiative. 23. The Dalai Lama works for the CIA. The Dalai Lama can always be found smiling.
I've never heard that one before, but he is always smiling. I ain't never seen the Dalai Lama pissed off.
He earned $180,000 as part of the CIA's funding of the Tibetan resistance at a sweet $1.7 million per year.
Ooh.
These payments was to interfere
Hey.
with and destabilize China's infrastructure.
He could be. He definitely could be.
Monies from the CIA. 22. The government is making us ill.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. The Dalai Lama being a government, what did they say? Informant? I forgot. But I wouldn't put it past him. I would not put it past him. You hear me? You hear how much money he's getting a year just from them? 1.7 million? Yeah, I know a few of y'all out there. Well, I know a few people out there that would have took that shit.
No, I'm not talking about COVID. Yet. However, there might be something to that conspiracy theory too. As early as 1932, the U.S. Public Health Service collaborated with the Tuskegee Institute on a phony syphilis treatment program. The experiment, involved over 400 African American men with syphilis, was only scheduled to last 6 months at first. However, it took until 1972 for the public to become aware of the research, at which point the government was forced to terminate the experiment. For 40 years, the 400 men were frequently given harmful drugs and subjected to painful and unneeded medical procedures in the name of medicine. Despite the fact that penicillin became a known cure for syphilis, researchers hid this information from patients in order to keep the experiment going.
Exactly.
The government.
Hey, look. What if I told you guys right here, right now, that the government very well could have a cure for cancer and other maladies or deformities, if you will? Nah, maladies. They could definitely already have a cure for cancer. I mean, they killed Dr. Sebi, and he claimed to have found the cure for cancer and other known illnesses. The truth is we have no idea. We have no idea. But nah. What's so petty to me is that they would rather make a quick buck off of a dying person as opposed to keeping them living and participating in the day-to-day life, in their day-to-day life. That is kind of what is kind of murky, and it's just kind of weird to me, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But everybody's always saying that the government doesn't care about us. What's the truth? What's the truth, you know?
Uses our dead bodies for experiments. Conspiracy theories can be highly entertaining until they turn out to be true. Following the nuclear bombings in Japan, the U.S. launched a large study to assess the impact of nuclear fallout on the human body. To do this, the government stole dead bodies.
Roll up again.
Yes, the dead bodies of babies and young children. The main reason was that they needed young tissue, so they enlisted a global network of agents to locate recently deceased newborns and children, and then retrieve samples, sometimes even limbs, without notifying or obtaining consent from the hundreds of grieving families. 20. The government poisoned alcohol during Prohibition in order to discourage drinking. Alcohol producers have been combining their products with dangerous chemicals for a long time. However, between 1926 and 1933, the federal government pushed manufacturers to add higher doses of these chemicals to their products to deter bootleggers from turning the liquor into moonshine. Unfortunately, that did not discourage the bootleggers or those who bought their goods. At the end of Prohibition, over 10,000 Americans had died due to tainted liquor. 19. The world's richest and most powerful men have a retreat where they decide the fate of the world. Some of the world's most influential and wealthiest men congregate at a California campground for 2 weeks of heavy drinking, top secret.
Tell me right now that picture doesn't remind you of Bohemian Grove. Bohemian Grove is a very real thing. You get some of the one percenters to fly out there on their private jets and or take it by water on their yachts. The truth is they have been doing this right underneath our noses since the early 1900s. And we're just now coming to the truth about all of it. You know, like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I do believe that there's a small percentage of the world that owns everybody else's wealth. I mean, like Monopoly. For real. Like, they going around, they buying up. For real. I mean, I'm not playing. I'm dead ass serious.
Discussions and bizarre rituals in July. Visitors to the Bohemian Grove retreat have included
Bohemian Grove. I didn't pre-watch this video, y'all.
It's said that participants are not permitted to conduct business there. Still, there's been an exception or two, most notably in 1942 for the Manhattan Project, when the discussions and approvals led to the development of the atomic bomb. 18. The president's wife ran the country. The president, or the first lady in question, was Edith Wilson. President Wilson had a crippling stroke near the conclusion of his presidency.
Woodrow Wilson.
In the country's best interest to keep, the news quiet. As such, his wife, Edith Wilson, made the vast majority of executive decisions for several months. Despite Mrs. Wilson's claim that she simply served as a steward, historians historians who have studied the Wilson presidency concur that Mrs. Wilson was essentially president for much over a year, and that she didn't do too badly. 17. The government wants to control our minds. The 1950s were a scary time for U.S. citizens. The government grappled with communist spies as the Cold War was heating up, and those in power decided that drastic measures were in order. It was during this time that Project Ultra was born. In order to find a truth serum, the CIA decided to secretly inject unwitting U.S. and Canadian individuals with LSD, and then interrogate and occasionally torture the subjects. The CIA reimbursed hospitals, jails, and colleges for cooperation and silence.
That's giving cover up for real.
Destruction of all MK Ultra related records, and while the plot was finally exposed, no one participating in the operation remembered these specifics. The FBI tried to discredit American political groups it deemed subversive. From the CIA to the FBI. When the FBI wasn't investigating crimes, the Bureau, led by J. Edgar Hoover, spent most of its time trying to keep communism from spreading in the U.S. The FBI hounded various political groups, such as the Civil Rights Movement, through a secret program known as COINTELPRO, counterintelligence
Wintelpro.
Dr. Martin Luther King was public enemy number one. Agents bugged his hotel rooms, stalked him, attempted to break up his marriage, and even wrote him an anonymous letter pushing him to commit suicide at one point. 15. The government spied on John Lennon.
I agree with that. The government spied on John Lennon. I agree with that.
Quite true. In the same way as many other counterculture heroes, John Lennon was seen as a threat. To fuel the fire, his anti-war songs like Give Peace a Chance didn't endear him to the Nixon administration. The FBI decided to place Lennon under surveillance in 1971, and the Immigration and Naturalization Service attempted to deport him a year later. I won't discuss the conspiracy theories surrounding his assassination just yet. 14. The government makes use of hitmen. Following the Watergate crisis in 1975, Senator Frank Church helped establish the predecessor of the U.S. Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, known as the Church Committee. Their objective was to investigate the CIA and FBI to guarantee they were working within the law. The committee swiftly determined that the CIA had essentially gone into the hitman business. In addition to assassinating Mossadegh and Allende in Iran, the CIA also killed revolutionaries and rebel leaders in Central and South America, the Middle East, and Africa.
I agree.
They disguised their murders as car crashes, suicides, diseases, and heart attacks.
Yep.
13.
Hey,
The government is using...
I heard a crazy conspiracy that they actually got a heart attack gun to shoot somebody and make them have a heart attack. You got technology like that, but you can't give $1 million to the homeless? You got money for technology like that, but you can't give $1 million to the homeless. I don't know. This is weird.
social media to spy on you. Unfortunately,
Social media is spying on us.
100%.
I kind of agree with that.
The Twitter
Y'all ever,
they also know they can find
have y'all ever was talking to somebody about something and then you open your phone and then that very thing that you were talking about pops up out of nowhere? I think they know. I think they listen to what the hell we say. I really do. For real. Because I kept saying I want to make reaction videos. I want to make reaction videos. And then this right here pops up on how to make reaction videos. Like, they listening.
themselves in delicate situations if they meddle too much. The Electronic Frontier Foundation, or EFF, is a non-profit that advises the public on all online safety matters and defends civil liberties in the digital world. Thanks to their efforts, we know how many user data requests our government agencies send to the most prominent platforms every year. In 2016 alone, there were over 49,868 requests for data to Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook, 9,076 to Apple, and 27,850 to Google. 12. Tobacco companies knew smoking gave cancer. During the 80s, it would have been
Smoking,
impossible to find an actual
smoking companies knew that cigarettes breed cancer.
For 60% of the duration. Many believe the rise in cancers of the throat, mouth, and lungs could be attributed to cigarettes. In fact, although research showed an undeniable statistical link...
That's why you give me a joint. Give me a joint, ladies and gentlemen. Those cowboy killers. Kill a cowboy, you're
11. The government lies to us. Today we know this is virtually always true.
the government definitely is lying to us. There is an agenda that they have.
Incident, which led to full U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War. The facts surrounding the North Vietnamese attack on the American naval ship Maddox were already hazy by the time news of the alleged strike reached American shores. Since then, declassified intelligence documents have revealed that the Maddox provided support for South Vietnamese attacks on a nearby island, and the North Vietnamese responded in kind. 10. Canada developed a gaydar machine. The truth is often stranger than fiction. It really happened. The
Canadian government had an anti-gay policy? That's crazy as hell. Look, bro. Look. I'm a man of God. I love women, always have, always will. I am a straight man. Am I against any of you for who you choose to love? Bruh. Bro, it is your business who you choose to love in your bedroom. Think about it. Why the hell does the government care who you love? Why do any of us care? Some of y'all can't get your love lives together. So why do you care whether somebody else is doing it right or not? Are you the salvation police? Oh, like God just told you, hey, let that brother know he's going to hell. Like I said, it's wild, bro. It's wild. But I believe that God loves us no matter who we choose to love. Like, who we choose to love? Like, it's the L word, for crying out loud. It ain't like it's a hate. It's not like what they're doing is a hate crime, because it's not. They don't care because we don't. They don't care because that's just how they choose to live. We give a damn because we want to try to control them and what they do, who they do, right? It's crazy. And to me, personally, is it the sin of Sodom and Gomorrah? Yes. But the truth of the matter is we should let those people figure it out for themselves and let it play out. Isn't that exactly what God is doing? Ain't that exactly what our Father's doing? Letting it play out. Carnal passion like that, it never lasts. It always fades. For real. I'm a person who truly believes that there's a person out there for every last one of us. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Canada's a little wrong for this. Now, do I agree with their choice of actions? Absolutely not, because I wouldn't make the same choice. But I can concretely say that it is not a matter of a salvation issue for who you choose to love. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a little bit more, things can be a little bit more black and white as far as that goes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Go ahead and get back to the video. I'm done pausing for a second.
Exploiting exotic pictures, the Canadian government used the results obtained from the device to fire over 400 men from public service, the Mounties, and the military. 9. U.S. military leaders had a plan to kill innocent people and blame it all on Cuba. Unfortunately, such a scheme existed. Operation Northwoods was a deliberate strategy to carry out terrorist acts on U.S. soil. If it doesn't sound bad enough, the plans were approved by the CIA, the Department of Defense, the Pentagon's top brass, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff. If carried out, it would have resulted in the murder of hundreds of innocent individuals to convince the public to support a war against Cuba. The organization even contemplated blowing up a U.S. ship and kidnapping planes as a false pretext for war. Fortunately, John F. Kennedy, the president at the time, stopped the planned action. testimony to influence a war. In 1990, in the months running up to the Gulf War, a young girl who only has an era testified about Iraqi crimes before the Congressional Human Rights Caucus. She told several tall tales about how the invading Iraqis treated Kuwaitis, horrifying Congress members. Although many people died due to Iraq's invasion, her statement was 100% made up. She was the ambassador's daughter.
She over there lying on national TV.
Public relations campaign named Citizens for a Free Kuwait, organized by the public relations firm Hill and Knowlton. 7. John Wilkes Booth didn't act alone.
John Wilkes Booth did not act alone when he shot Abraham Lincoln. I agree with that. I agree with that. I think, here's what I think. Here's what I think. Hey, here's what I think. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. John Wilkes Booth was given the opportunity to shoot the president when he was even allowed to be in that room. Think about it. This man was a nobody as far as the Constitution goes. The Constitution goes. If I can talk right. Nobody knew him. So how was he able to get in if somebody didn't let him in? There's one person, or at least multiple peoples right there. Multiple people. Man, he didn't act alone. I don't believe that. I really don't. And just like I don't believe that James Earl Ray is the sole person who killed Dr. King. I think that he was a part of a much bigger plot. The civil rights movement was gaining traction at that time, 1968. And that weekend, King was on his way to go and talk to the multitude like he always does in Montgomery. He was leaving from Atlanta, from Montgomery. That's wild to me. That's wild to me. And you know what? America, in a nutshell, has covered up so much. How do you know what's true and what's false? You damn near have to question everything. Let's go back to when Donald Trump got shot in the ear. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it at all. You know what I'm saying? I took that shit with a grain of salt. And now you look at him, and his ear looks like nothing even happened to it at all. Now I get it. Trump's the president. He has money to fix that kind of situation, right? You would think. Okay, fine. How do you reattach somebody's ear? Or even a piece of it? That calls for major surgery. Trust me, I will know a thing or two about it. Truthfully, I just think that they have covered up so much. How do you know concretely what's true or what's false? You have to be able to kind of use your discernment a little bit and see, is this motherfucker lying to me? And you'll get your answer. The truth always, always shakes out.
Government. One of the co-conspirators includes George Astaroth, who failed in his assassination attempt on Vice President Andrew Johnson. Meanwhile, co-conspirator Lewis Powell also tried to assassinate Secretary of State William Seward, wounding him badly. 6. The U.S. government employed Nazi scientists after World War II. Following Germany's surrender in World War II, around 1,600 Nazi scientists were sent to work in the U.S. In 1946, the scheme, known as Operation Paperclip, was exposed to the media, most notably in the New York Times. Some of these researchers worked on Project MK-Ultra. Werner von Braun was a well-known former Nazi participant in this program. He made his mark in the U.S. by being part of the moon landing and designing the Jupiter-C rocket that launched America's first satellite. He also became a director within the Development Operations Division of the Army Ballistic Missile Agency. 5. The government has a heart attack gun.
Didn't I just say that?
Should have been right after the CIA hit.
I didn't pre-watch this video. I swear on my life I didn't.
The CIA revealed unveiled their secret weapon capable of causing fatal heart attacks in 1975. It works by firing a little poison dart through clothing, leaving nothing except a tiny red dot on the skin. The dart disintegrates on impact, leaving just a little sting comparable to an insect bite. An autopsy can't reveal the toxin since it deteriorates too fast. As a result, the CIA can carry out assassinations that can not be linked to them. Lovely. 4. The government can control your mood. Unfortunately, this conspiracy theory, which also turned out to be true, redefines the term make love, not war. One of the non-lethal compounds explored by the U.S. Defense Department to disrupt enemy morale and discipline was the gay bomb. The 1994 study aimed to develop a weapon that would douse opposing troops in female pheromones. The goal was to make soldiers sexually attracted to one another, which would reduce their fighting efficiency. However, it was never pursued. Or so they say. 3. The government can control the weather. Yes, your government can manipulate the weather. To some extent, anyway. During the war in Vietnam, the CIA would seed the clouds to increase the amount of rain during the monsoon season. According to the CIA, this technique was used between 1967 and 1972 to wash off roads and cause destructive landslides, preventing North Vietnamese troops from moving their weapons and supplies. 2. The Russians don't really have Hitler's skull. For decades, it was assumed that Hitler committed suicide after World War II. Still, many conspiracy theorists believed it was a sham and that he had slipped away at the last moment. Hitler's skull fragment obtained from the bunker where he supposedly died was in the possession of the Russian authorities. In 2009, Russian authorities conducted testing on the skull fragment. The alarming findings revealed that the skull fragment belonged to a young woman, not a man. Ironically, the tests were conducted to undermine the credibility of the conspiracy theorists claiming he had gone into hiding. 1. The government knows where the aliens are.
Of course.
Our government has been fascinated by UFOs for a long.
Let me speak to that for a second. The government not only knows where they are, they know who and what they are too. There are UFOs in Area 51 that were either created by them or confiscated. Right? One of two have to be true. I'm going to give you my theory. Aliens are, in a nutshell, aliens are the same fallen angels that literally were kicked out of heaven with the devil. And they are his minions. And they come here to literally disguise themselves as angels of light to make them seem benevolent, when really and truly they're on the complete opposite side. For real. Again, he's about to say it too. I know he is. Our government has been so fascinated with the supernatural that we don't know if these forces are good for us or bad for us. But America is so closed-minded that they would accept it. It didn't even matter whether they were good or bad. They were going to accept it anyway. They were going to bring them in, and truth be told, they're probably going to be used for some grand plot to bring this world into World War III, which could decimate this entire country, atomize this shit. And nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to hear me say that kind of thing. But the truth is, my generation could very well be the last generation on Earth that sees everything come to pass and everything come to play. So why wouldn't I want to stay informed about these things so that when it does happen, I can say, oh, this is this and this is this. This doesn't have nothing to do with me. This is where I need to go. Keep yourself safe. Long haul type thing. Not focusing on the day-to-day kind of stuff, right? But long term, where are you going to be? What side are you on? Because I've been saying this for a while. It has been God versus Satan out here since before the creation of man. And if you don't believe me, do your own research. Look more into these things. Because it's getting crazy out here by the day. By the day. So to answer his question and to kind of elaborate, aliens are very much real, but they are not what we think they are. They are fallen angels that the Most High God created, and they're not on our side. They don't want to help us. They don't want to tell us the truth about ourselves. If anything, they're just going to spew more lies. But you know what? I'll tell y'all this, and then I'll let it play out and give my closing regards. The truth always, like I said, it always shakes out. So when you hear it, do not let it fall on deaf ears. Listen to it. Be like, okay, that's different. Then look it up for yourself. And then start to find your answers. That's what it took for me, and that's what it took for a lot of people that I know. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just have to understand that the media has been trying to more or less they're trying to more or less with their agenda, they're trying to more or less force feed it on to everybody. That's exactly what it is, and that's what it boils down to. I'm sorry, I don't believe their agenda. I think it's a lie, and I'm not following it. Oh, Micah, you don't even watch the news. How do you know what's going on? I live in the age of information. It comes directly to my phone. All I gotta do is go on Google. Really, the homepage will pull up every major thing that's happened in the last 36 hours or day, whatever, right? Look into these things, man, because as our parents are saying, they ain't telling no lies. It's getting wicked out here. People were dying in broad daylight. And there was a time where the first 12 hours of the day was sacred. It was the back half that people had to be worried about. Now it's, dare I say, even the other way around. People were in the house at night. They chilling. For real. Even some of the YNs that used to wreak havoc on the street, they in the crib, playing the game, relaxing. Because we all feel it. Something is brewing, something big, something crazy, and I'm telling you I'm not wrong. There's too many people that feel the exact same way that I feel, that are thinking the very thing that I'm saying. UFOs, aliens, they're real. They ain't fake, but they're just not aliens like we all think they are. They're fallen angels, demons, damn it. Stay away from them. And if they are anywhere in your house, again, unseen to the naked eye, get them out. Gotta go. So with that being said, keep yourselves on guard, man. You have no idea what's coming. We have no idea what's coming. Take care of your family, take care of your friends. Let's finish this video out, ladies and gentlemen.
Time, despite years of denial, and even had a program looking for UFOs as late as 2011. The 5-year Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program gathered video and audio evidence of UFOs.
That looks like Appa from Avatar Aang. I'm Avatar: The Last Airbender. That looks like Appa.
Such efforts are still taking place. The program's director, Luis Elizondo, claims they are. And if today's list has taught us anything, we'd rather believe Lewis's slip of the tongue than the Pentagon's denial. So, what are some of your favorite conspiracy theories? And you know what? Bonus points if they ended up coming true. Let us know in the comments below. And like I said before, like, share, comment, subscribe, notification bell, do all that fun jazz. Really helps us out. I promise that's not a conspiracy there. That sounded much better. And I love you guys. As always, I'll see you next time. Or will I?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. There are 25 conspiracy theories that turned out to be absolutely true. If you like videos like this, leave your thoughts down in the comments. I reply to everybody, and I will be sure to reach you. Like I said, if you made it to this point in the video, it doesn't go unnoticed, and you are greatly appreciated. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell for all future updates. Once again, this is Mikey React signing out. You are watching Mike O'Clock TV. See y'all later.